Hello, Plastic Free July community. My name is Kate. I am Plastic Free Mermaid. Welcome to the workshop. Today we are going to be talking about making basic bath products. So we're going to be making 5 things. We're making toothpaste, deodorant, shampoo, conditioner, and body scrub. So yeah, it's going to be great. This is all in anticipation of the amazing month of Plastic Free July. So we're just going to wait a little bit for people who want to join to come on board with us, and then we'll get stuck into the workshop. So I haven't used plastics for about 10 years. I learned that plastic does not biodegrade probably around 11 years ago, and just thought, my goodness, of all the things impacting the planet, this is one thing that I can actually do something about. I can eliminate my personal contribution to the mounting, piling of plastics that was accumulating in the environment. So I went hardcore, set a boundary against plastics, and I've just been teaching myself how to live without plastics ever since. Of course, as we have our plastics awakening, we continue to see that the single-use definition of plastics kind of continues to expand outward. Initially it was plastic bottles and plastic bags and to-go cups, and then it was oh gosh, all this food packaging is also single-use. We're using it one time and then we're throwing it away. And even my bath products, my shampoo bottles and conditioner bottles, I use once and then throw away, maybe recycled, but so very little of our plastic actually gets recycled. Most of it's downcycled into something of lesser value. So it's been a really interesting journey these past 10 years of teaching myself how to make my own products, of learning to go without, just abstaining from things that are packaged in plastic, and instead of it feeling like a sacrifice, knowing that it's this rising above the materialism and consumption and this plastic packaging of all this consumer products, and just being sovereign, being an empowered human being that is saying, actually, I don't need to buy, say yes to all these things. I can rise above and be satisfied with who I am, with what I have, and I don't need to buy, but I'm going to alter my expectations for the things that I use and choose and have around me, and accept things that are handmade and wooden or just natural instead of the synthetics. So yeah, that's a little bit about my journey. I'm a mermaid. I free dive, I surf, I sail, I love the ocean. Like so many of us that are inspired to reduce our use of plastics for the beautiful sea creatures that are now ingesting so many of our plastics, big and small. So it's a pleasure to be here with you all, to be sharing with you some of my plastic-free recipes. I've got this little repurposed picture frame acting as my my little Instagram promotional device, so that if you want to learn more of my recipes, you know where to go. Plastic Free Mermaid on Instagram. I also, like Rebecca Ruiz of Plastic Free July, have written a book. So Rebecca's comes out in July, mine's out now. It's called I Quit Plastics. This is it. This is what it looks like. Definitely head to my website, iquitplastics.com, if you want to order a book, or just check out a lot of the other recipes. So we're going to start with our toothpaste recipe. This is in my book. I'll just turn to the page. If you have my book, you may follow along. It's on 156 page. I recommend getting yourself like a beautiful spell book where you put all of your recipes, or recipe book. I like to keep my potions and concoctions in there. And then you can just add to them as you update your recipes, as you learn more, as you change the recipes. If you learn from other people that things work better and the reason why and the sources, it's just a nice way to keep all of your information in one place, and it's really beautiful to have a spell book. Today, our toothpaste recipe, I'm teaching, but really the most important thing is brushing frequently and flossing. So the whole point of brushing our teeth is to get the food and plaque from the surface and from between our teeth and up in our gums. the more food, the sugars that we have there, the more bacteria will then eat away those sugars and then leave as acids, which cause cavities. So if we can floss and brush and get all that food and plaque out, then we'll be great. That's also why eating like less sugar is beneficial for your teeth. Toothpaste is just kind of a fancy, minty, yummy thing that helps us brush our teeth more, because we create positive associations with brushing, because it's like this easy, minty, fresh burst in our mouth that makes them delicious in there. So it's not necessary, toothpaste. It's not like the crucial ingredient to the toothbrushing and the maintenance of our teeth. The brushes and the floss. Quick note, get a bamboo toothbrush. The technology is not there yet for fully biodegradable for the bristles, so look into it. Always drive transparency up the supply chain for all these eco products. There's heaps of greenwashing out there, and don't just trust people's labels like it's green, it's biodegradable. It's not. There's like probably 60% biodegradable bristles, but most of them still have plastic in them. So you always want to break off your toothbrush head and put it in your trash jar if you're keeping all your trash. Tune into my stuff if all of this is going over your head. Use it around the house to clean, all those good things. So yeah, get yourself some zero waste floss, some eco floss, and toothbrush, and you'll be great. The toothpaste that I teach uses coconut oil because this is antimicrobial, antibacterial, antifungal, so it's really good to have in your mouth. And I also teach with baking soda or bicarb soda, because it's easy, everyone has it. This is an abrasive. I also teach that you can use salt. These will remove stains on your teeth because they are mild abrasive and a mild bleach. However, the abrasive is going to eventually wear down the enamel, so you want to use this stuff sparingly. Let's make some. I asked you in your preparation for this workshop to get a few jars. So I've got an old mustard jar. I think this is like a Vegemite jar or something. I got this at an op shop. So I'm going to use this little one to make a toothpaste today. And it's so easy. I've got my coconut oil. And the recipe we're doing today, we're just doing 1 tablespoon coconut oil to 1 tablespoon bicarb, just to show you how easy it is. I will say that since bicarb is so abrasive, you may want to use less. In fact, it's probably recommended to maybe start with 1 teaspoon of bicarb as you're working your way up, to just see the right ratio for your mouth, for your teeth, for your gum sensitivity. You're not going to notice the enamel wearing down. Enamel's like really hard, thin layer, so we don't want to wear that down because then the bacteria can get in there and create tooth decay and all of that. So use, this is your starter toothpaste recipe, and be sure to adjust it as you go and you get to know what you like and what you don't like about these zero waste recipes that I'm sharing with you. One of the key my tips for how to be plastic free, how to do plastic free July, are to adjust your expectations, get experimental, and continue cultivating your why. So you want to adjust your expectations. This is not going to work like the toothpaste that squeezes out of the tube. But the tube is not only just plastic, it's actually multi-layer material. So it's so hard to separate all those layers of plastic and metal and who knows what else is in those toothpaste containers, all different kinds of plastic as well. So it's not going to be recycled. In fact, I've been to remote beaches, remote villages in Indonesia where they have just piles of these toothpaste tubes. So it's not getting recycled. So do yourself a favor, we're keeping it simple. The brushing experience is enjoyable because we are cleaning our teeth, not because we have this toothpaste gel that's magical and wonderful. So adjust your expectations and get used to a slightly different toothbrushing experience. Alright, so we've got our coconut oil. It's cold here, so I had to heat this up so that it was easy to work with. There we go. And then I like to use a chopstick to stir when I've got a small jar like this. Now, the reason I teach such a large portion, half of bicarb, is to create more of a paste substance. This is your transition paste. So this is more paste-like than the recipe that I think eventually you'll probably want to use, which is less of the abrasive bicarb. If this is too abrasive, you can also use just table salts or bentonite clay, a white clay. These are also abrasives. So again, just brush your teeth more, floss more. That's what's really cleaning your teeth. Rinse your mouth with mouthwash. You can make a mouthwash out of salt and water. Clean your teeth and they'll be happy. If you want a paste, make it out of bicarb and coconut oil. And then if you're into the taste of mint, you can use essential oil. I try not to recommend these because of all the little tiny plastic parts that essential oils typically come packaged in. But I'd say do 1 drop of peppermint oil and your essential oil will last you years. Okay, so that's our toothpaste. Let's see if I've missed anything here. Yeah, so dental health is about achieving a balanced ecosystem of bacteria in your mouth. And yeah, the bicarb is going to polish your teeth and reduce the acidity, but if you're worried about eroding your enamel, just brush with your toothbrush more often and floss more often. So that's our toothpaste. Very easy, 2 ingredients. You probably already have them. So if you're if you're going to have to travel or if you need to make a quick gift, this is a really easy gift. Here's toothpaste, wrap it up cute with a little twine around the top, and then you've got toothpaste. A lot of people also add charcoal to their toothpaste. Charcoal is also abrasive. These are all mild abrasives, so it's not like your teeth are going to fall off. I'm just warning you, over time, you want to brush less with this and more just with your brush and floss. Charcoal, there's no proven connection to whitening your teeth of any of these things, but especially charcoal. But it is a good thing to have in your mouth. It's very porous, so it's going to absorb all the nasties that are lingering in your mouth. Then you spit it out and make your entire sink covered in black charcoal. That's really hard to clean. Okay, done. Also in my book, if you're curious, and I'll share these throughout the month, I've got tooth powders that you can make so you don't have to travel with a leaky coconutty jar that's leaking all over your bags when you travel. Yeah, so check that out. Okay, next recipe we're gonna make is deodorant. This is one of my favorites to teach. It's so simple and it works so well. So the toothpaste is a little bit of a different experience. We're reducing the plastic packaging of these toothpaste tubes, we're helping the planet, and we're preventing ourselves from ingesting all these little microplastics that shed from a plastic toothpaste tube. Yay, but different experience. So we're adjusting our expectations. Deodorant, on the other hand, this works amazingly. Let's make it. So we're doing 3 tablespoons of coconut oil. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Those were my kitties that just ran by, if you heard small pitter-pattering. All right, 3 tablespoons of coconut oil. Again, antimicrobial, antibacterial, antifungal. If you put it under the armpits, it's gonna be really great for killing all the nasties that we're sweating out. And it holds our deodorant together. What do we got? Okay, and then 2 tablespoons of arrowroot. Now this is an awesome root that you can actually grow depending on the climate you're in. We can grow it here in Australia. It's toxic at first, so you just need to soak it and prepare it, and then you powder it, grind it down. Yeah, it's a root. It's like tapioca or cornstarch. It holds, it's absorbent, sorry. So these are also things that you use in cooking as thickeners for sauces. So it does the same thing. It kind of absorbs the sweaty underarm moisture. Cool. 2 tablespoons of this. Great. And then the third ingredient is bicarb, which is the deodorizer. So we use a lot of bicarb in the cleaning recipes as well, on carpets, on stains, in laundry, in the kitchen sink, in the bathroom, because it's really good at deodorizing. So yeah, let's use it in our armpit too. We don't need essential oils, we don't need flour or fragrances to cover up our smells. This will just deodorize. I use this for many years. Now I just don't even wear deodorant anymore. Sometimes I'll eat something spicy and weird and I'll have a little funky flavor down there in the armpits, and then I might put it on. But it's just so mild and nice. And then you just mix it up, mix it into your little paste. And now you can see if you have a huge jar, you're like, oh, I either need to make a triple batch or find a smaller jar. So there we go, make up the little paste, and you can hopefully see it's very paste-like. If you have sensitive underarms, use less of the abrasive bicarb. This is also another time when you can substitute some clay, some bentonite clay in there, or just use more arrowroot. Okay, and so what you do with that, you can have a little spoon. Oh, I didn't really talk about this, but same goes for the toothpaste. You can have a little spoon, like so, that you keep with your toothpaste, and you scoop it out onto your toothbrush, or you can just dip the bristles in if the bristles are clean. You don't want to dip the full head in because the coconut oil and the water will eventually cause the head to rot. And that's something with these bamboo toothbrushes, no matter, depending on the climate you're in, can get moldy and start to decompose, which is great. We want them to decompose, but not until we're done using them. So you want to be mindful of that. So a little spoon, same as with deodorant, you can use a little spoon. I just use my fingers. I just reach in there, put it on the fingers like so, do a little bit like that, and you just apply it straight into your armpits like this. Great, and that's it. So that's your deodorant. If you feel like adding a little scent, it's up to you. I just recommend against it. I just think that having the natural is the best thing. Okay, that's deodorant, done. All right, moving on. Let's get to our shampoo and conditioner. Oh, I did want to mention, sorry, before moving on, depending on your climate that you're in, if you're in a cool climate, these will stay solid, which will be easier to use. If you're in a warm climate or it's summer, your coconut oil is going to melt. So that's why we added half with the bicarb for the toothpaste, right? So that it'll stay more solid for those of you in warmer climates. If it does separate, just give it a shake or a stir and then put it on your toothpaste. Same with the deodorant. A fun little hack is if it's super runny, give it a shake and then put it in your fridge upside down. And then it'll form like a tiny little lip. And then you can actually just unscrew this and apply it like this if you want. So that's kind of a fun tip. Also in my book, I have a warm weather hip paste, courtesy of my friend Zoe, who is living in a very tropical climate. And she just uses a little bit of beeswax in there. You can also use cacao butter to just make it more solid. Okay, let's get to our hair care. So you can repurpose these, glass bottles. I like to teach that you just repurpose your shampoo bottles because they work. They're squeezy, squeeze it on your head. That's really easy. Or the pump bottles with, from your hand soap, so those sorts of things. But I don't have any of those plastic items to repurpose, so I'm going to be using these glass jars. So let's clean our device. So for the shampoo, I keep it really simple. The point of washing my hair is to clean it so that it's not greasy and dirty. The natural oils of our body do a really good job. The scalp and the natural oil serums are intended to help clean our hair. So that's great. Go evolution, go nature, go body. Totally understand if you want to wash your hair more regularly, especially if you're working outside or breaking a sweat constantly. So I think that there's great shampoo bars out there. Support local shampoo bar makers. You know, you can find these at a lot of our farmers markets these days, which is awesome. And I love supporting local makers. So definitely trial those shampoo bars. Sometimes it works to do this recipe of shampoo as well as the shampoo bars, kind of like change it up throughout the month. This recipe is very basic, as keeping with the theme, keep it simple. So we're just gonna do 1 tablespoon of bicarb. Here we go. Ooh, this is gonna get messy. Okay, and then we just do 1 cup of water. And then 1 cup of water. This is very dangerous. Okay, so that's it. That's our shampoo. It's maybe better called like a shampoo rinse or a hair rinse. You just shake it up, and then when you're in the shower, you sprinkle it around the crown of your head and then massage it into your scalp. So the abrasive bicarb is helping to clean your scalp and the roots of your hair. And then that bicarb travels down the strands of your hair and also gives the rest of your head a rinse. This water will go cold. So I recommend you can just keep topping up the water when it's hot in the shower, put a little hot water in and then dump it on your head. Or if you're doing your Wim Hof and you're already in a cold shower, no problemo. The other thing that I like to teach is just having a salt or like a shaker, bicarb shaker in the shower. So before you go into the shower, because you don't want your shaker, so like repurposing a spice shaker. I keep this at my kitchen sink as well. So you repurpose a spice shaker, it's got little holes, you fill it up with bicarb, you put a little bit on your head, then you go into the shower, and the actual shower just allows you to scrub your scalp and rinse your hair. Don't keep it in the shower. The humidity will cause it to get too wet and then it won't work anymore. So this is your shampoo. Again, a new spray bottle is probably easier to use and you don't waste as much. That's it. You can also put, different things in your shampoo. So lemon juice, tiny little bit for blondes is said to stimulate growth. Tea tree, tiny little bit for dandruff. Rosemary, has a natural affinity for hair, and so it can strengthen and replenish your hair. So putting sprigs of rosemary in there always helps. This is rosemary, if you can't see that. And rosemary is such a hardy herb. It grows in so many places. I love to use it in my recipes because most people can go for a walk in their neighborhood or in the city and find rosemary just growing as a hedge or a bush and just break off a few sprigs and then put them in a jar or like a pot at home and grow your own rosemary and then use them in all your recipes. So yeah, put it in your shampoo, put it in your conditioner rinse, get it in your hair routine. If you're like, this is too dry for my hair, a lot of the feedback we get from these recipes is that it's drying. I think that it's actually the conditioning rinse, which I'll teach next, which is with apple cider vinegar, that dries the hair. But people have mixed reports. We all have different hair. We live in different climates. So we're gonna need different things. That's again why my second principle of living plastic free is to be experimental. I'm gonna provide you with these kind of starting points and then go nuts, to make your own, get experimental, and then share with us in the community so that we can teach. This works for my hair. Totally understand if it doesn't work for other people's hair. That's why I say use shampoo bars. The other thing that I love, soap nuts. These are so great. So you can use these in all sorts of cleaning products. They are just like a little berry shell, and they're sticky and they saponify. So when they get wet, they go sudsy, and that sudsiness is useful in cleaning dishes and cleaning surfaces and cleaning hair. So all you do is you boil these in water on the stove, and it kind of gets this sudsy and thick syrup, and then you can make shampoo and laundry detergent and hand wash and all sorts of things from these soap nuts. So that's really easy, and they're a really sustainable tree. They can reproduce fruit a lot, and so they're just really handy to have around the house. So definitely get yourself some soap nuts. But again, just want to teach how simple this is. You don't have to go out and buy shampoo. If you run out in Plastic Free July, just make some bicarb, see how it works in your hair. And if you run out of shampoo and you are going to use the bicarb in the meantime, maybe order some soap nuts or a shampoo bar to trial as well. A lot of the shampoo bars I don't love. I find they kind of make my hair gummy, so I avoid those. You can just use them for the ends, but my ends aren't really dirty. So yeah, that should probably cover it for shampoo. See if I've got any other things. Oh yeah, another weird one that I discovered on my journey is using flour as shampoo. Now this is kind of like messy in the shower, but if you put rye flour in your hair, mix it with a cup of warm water or just sprinkle it on your head in the shower, it cleans your hair. Yeah, cool. How do we learn these things? Where does it go to teach us these hilarious hacks? Okay, so that's shampoo. Clean your hair with bicarb. Again, same ingredient for everything. Or soap nuts or shampoo bar. Easy. For our conditioning rinse, it's also very simple. We are just going to be doing 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. See how I go with my pouring this time. Didn't really plan ahead with a funnel. Nope, for next time. Okay, so here we go. Actually, I don't want to get this ready. So the apple cider vinegar is like shocks people when I'm like, this is my conditioning rinse, and they're like, that is so not what I'm using for my hair. Like, we're using probably like a murky, thick liquid to condition. But a lot of these products are actually just coating our hair. And if they're scented, they're probably coating our hair with these, with parabens and phthalates and these thickeners and chemicals that sit on our hair to make it kind of like heavy and go greasy sooner, so that we have to wash them again. And that's not really what we're after. We just want to clean our hair and keep it healthy. And maybe shiny, maybe voluminous, and whatever else you're going for. But we can achieve that with natural products that aren't going to leave our hair dead. So apple cider vinegar, it just conditions. It allows the hair to detangle and shine. Great. You can make your own apple cider vinegars. Tune into Plastic Free Mermaid to get recipes. It's also in my book, Epic Plastics. But for now, it's really easy to refill. I got this apple cider vinegar, and I just refill this bottle at my local bulk food store. So that's easy. And then a cup of water. Again, like I said, with the shampoo, the water will go chilly, so this is up to you. I sometimes will make my batch, and then just every time I'm in the shower, add a little bit more water, and then it's not quite as shock to the head. Okay, that's it. There's our conditioning rinse. You can also have a sip of this too. Apple cider vinegar is great for the body. It's really sour, but it's healthy for the pH of the belly. I'm gonna put some rosemary into my conditioning rinse. So, here we go. It's very simple. Just keeps your hair healthy. And yeah, if you guys are worried about the drying out, just after your shower, massage coconut oil into the tips, the ends of your hair. I don't know what your moisturizing routine is. I don't use any lotion. A lot of that's packaged in plastic. I just use oils. So in the winter, I moisturize my body with sesame oil, and in the summer I use coconut oil. When you're fully wet is when you apply oil, because that's how it traps the moisture in. Oil is not moisturizing on its own. So you want to trap the water in while you're wet and then wipe off. Ooh. So yeah, put it all over your back, put the coconut oil everywhere, and then the ends of your hair might land on your body and absorb some of that coconut oil, or massage it in yourself. You can also do a full coconut oil hair mask. I've got heaps of those recipes on my website and my book, if you're interested. Cool. All right, so that's that. Now let us move on to our scrub. I'm gonna turn my book page to, I think we've got a section on exfoliation. Oh, here we are. Okay, so for this scrub, I'm using coffee grounds. Now, depending on how fine you grind your coffee, is going to determine the sharpness of your grind of the scrub. I grind it quite fine for my espresso, so it's pretty good. But I actually use this on my face. A lot of people think it's too sharp and too rough for the face. So just, I don't like, do what feels right for you. You're empowered, you're sovereign, you get to choose from all these tips and suggestions and make your own best decision for what works best for your body. For today, I've got this very glamorous, beautiful jar. Usually I just like to repurpose, kind of like whatever. But today, really showing off for y'all. And we're gonna do 1 tablespoon of coconut oil and 1 tablespoon of coffee. So let's just do it. Now obviously I have way more than a tablespoon here for the coffee, and a huge jar. But we're just teaching here. So 1 tablespoon of that and 1 tablespoon of coffee grounds. Easy peasy. And there you have it! It's a scrub! So easy. So again, you're in the shower, you're wet, and you're scrubbing with coconut oil, so that's trapping in the moisture, and you're exfoliating. So you're doing a few things at once here. It's really great. So see how my hand is just fully shiny? That's not like it's moisturizing my skin. It's acting more as like a barrier. So it needs to be wet to actually be moisturizing, but it is exfoliating and it feels really great. You can use heaps of things as exfoliants. Remember all of our abrasives from our toothpaste? Those work great as exfoliants on your body because they're mildly abrasive. So you can use salt in your scrubs. You can use bicarb in your scrubs, like a facial scrub, for example. It's great for oily skin, or if you have a zit, just put a little bicarb on there. You can use sugar. So just get creative, see what you have in abundance or locally, what you can support a local business that has supply of one of these exfoliants. Coffee grounds, local cafe, such a great thing. Use it in your gardens as well. There's ways that we can repurpose these things, that we don't have to throw them away. We can find uses. So use what you have access to. This is quite oily, so I'm going to add a little bit more grounds. And also, as you experiment and get to know your skin and what you're comfortable with, you might feel that coconut oil is actually too thick for you. It feels too heavy. Try other oils. See what you have locally. Here we have lots of macadamia and pecan trees, so I could find a macadamia oil that would fit really well. Sometimes when we find things from our local environment and climate, that works better with our skin as well, because they're all kind of in season together, and that's when we tune into our local ecosystem and we're just like in alignment with nature, and we're all just like harmony. Oh. So yeah, just try that. Other things that you can put in your scrub: honey. If you have local beekeepers that are supporting your local pollinators, I do support, if I have beekeepers in my area, I do support them. Totally up to you if you want to use honey or not. It's really healthy for the skin. What else can you use? Like our skin is our largest organ, so what we put into our skin goes into our bloodstream. So that's why when we use all these plastic packaged products, many of the exfoliants used to have little microbeads in them too, which were just washing straight to the ocean and causing a huge plastic pollution problem. You know, we're absorbing these things into our skin as well. So all these chemicals that are often quite harsh because they're getting rid of our acne or some of those things, we absorb those into our body, and then our immune system has to work overtime to flush them out. So create less stress in your body and use natural things. Coffee, we might absorb a little bit of that caffeine, so use this in the morning. You could put a little squeeze of citrus in this if you're not in the summertime, if you're wanting to kind of balance the pH of your skin, if this feels too oily. See, cacao can be used for antioxidants. I mean, there's so many options with these things we put on our face. I like to make my scrubs and different things in the kitchen, because then it's like, oh, I have leftover avocado, just do an avocado mask. Oh, I'll put some coffee grounds in it, and now it's a scrub too. So just get experimental, and if it's edible, it's safe for your skin. That's a really great rule to be using for all of these things. Bicarb is safe. We already have sodium bicarbonate naturally occurring in our body. We just don't want to eat a lot of it because it's very alkaline, so it'll affect our tummy pH, but everything else is fully edible as well. So yeah, oatmeal is also a good one for the face, for an exfoliant. That's a really, really gentle exfoliant for the face, so that's highly recommended. And yeah, you can see this is already kind of solidifying. So that's what we do for a scrub. Feel free to add some essential oils if that feels more beautiful and nourishing for your bodily bathroom experience. To you, how you want to pamper and self-care and self-love. It's so important to have these routines to take care of ourselves, especially right now during the social climate where we've just, we're still in the mix of a pandemic and in quarantine and in isolation and not able to hug and embrace and see all of our friends and our people, and also having to stand up for human rights and really show up for our communities of Black, Indigenous, and people of color. So we have to have self-care routines so that we're making sure that we're resilient and that we're showing up at our highest and best. So doing these things, taking a little bit of time to create these products for ourselves, not only sets us up for Plastic-Free July, sets us up for a more natural lifestyle, and it also is just a little bit of like pampering and self-love that we all need always. I can't see your questions. If you're commenting and questioning, thank you for love and questions. I hope to get to those. I'm hosting a live tomorrow morning on my Instagram, Plastic Free Mermaid, where I'm answering Q&As about my plastic free life and just helping people get ready for Plastic Free July. Yeah, would love to chat more about all of these recipes with you guys, so definitely head on over to my page, Plastic Free Mermaid, or comment on any of the Plastic Free July posts, and let's chat more about these recipes. If you have feedback, if these work for you, if they don't, I want to know it. And yeah, I'm just really grateful to have the opportunity to teach these things. It's constantly changing. Like I say, get a recipe book, because we're always learning different updating our information, and that's part of like a skill or part of this whole lifestyle, is staying open, not rigidly attaching to any one way of life. Being open to learn from each other, and be inspired, re-inspired continuously by everybody around us. So grateful to be a part of this community. It's so uplifting and encouraging that there are so many people that are interested in reducing their use of plastics. And yeah, it can feel overwhelming, and I mean the material is so ubiquitous, but it's up to us individuals to make these changes, and that's how we're going to create global change, lasting change, and systemic change. And we, who have the privilege, who have the resources to make these changes, I really do think it's our moral obligation to do so. So good on you if you're taking this on. I'm here to support you and coach you through as is the Plastic Free July team. So please don't hesitate to reach out with any questions. And just remember to set yourself up for success. You know, you're coming into a full month, so use this week to prepare your meals in advance, do your shopping, get your reusable bags and your reusable cups, and see what cafes and stores will let you use them. I think of this as kind of forging allies and alliances with people out in the world, because here in your happy place you can use metal and wood and do all the things you want, but when you're out there shopping, that's when we encounter plastic, when people are trying to sell you food packaged in plastic and products packaged in plastic. So find your stores that will let you use reusable bags and jars, your coffee shops that are going to sell you coffee in your reusable cup, and always show up with clean reusables. That's a good one. And get creative. If you're out and about and you don't have your cup, see what else you can use as a vessel.